Hello and welcome to everyone. Today our guest is Adrian Garcia, MMA fighter. Adrian, congrats on your previous victory. How are you feeling considering that I believe, your fourth win in a row, right?
Say it again. This was my sixth fight. I'm 5-1 right now. I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty much entertaining performance, and you really did a great job. So I was just about to ask you, what was the game plan for your last fight? Did you have a specific game plan instructed by your coach, or you were just adjusting as the fight went on?
I honestly, it was a crazy week for me because I didn't have an opponent. That opponent actually was picked the day before I fought him. Day before weigh-ins, actually. He flew out from Hawaii, so I didn't know what to expect. So I just got prepared really mentally for pretty much anything. And then my coach told me wherever I feel him weak, that's where we're going to keep the fight. And I kept the fight against the cage. I used the takedowns to keep him on the floor. I noticed I had better jiu-jitsu, so I kept it there and just smashed for 3 rounds.
Well, it seems you didn't suffer much of a damage. I mean, considering by your
just a little shiner right here, that's all.
Yeah, but that's not much. I mean, you're looking pretty much
Not bad,
normal.
right? Not bad.
When did you start training MMA, and which was your first martial art? Please keep talking. I'll just turn on the light. Please keep talking.
When did I start training? I started training about 6 years ago, and it's been going good ever since. Give me one quick second. Sorry, brother. There we go. Now we got some good lighting.
Yeah.
All right. So what I was saying, I started training 6 years ago, and I've been here at the gym that I'm at now, the Goat Shed, for about a year and a half. Everything's going good so far. The people here are good. I'm having a good time learning from everyone here.
Do you have the fundamental martial art? Which was the first martial art you've trained?
So I started off as Muay Thai based. I literally never used to wrestle. I hated jiu-jitsu. I avoided it, actually. And now, like, if people were to watch my last fight, they think I'm a Dagestani wrestler, you know? My wrestling has improved here a lot at the Goat Shed. I'm grateful for the coaches because all I ever used to do was try to keep it standing. My game plan was always the same. Strike, keep it standing, defend takedowns, and get up if I needed to.
So you consider yourself a stand-up fighter if somebody asks about fighting style?
I used to just consider myself a stand-up fighter, but now I'm a well-rounded MMA fighter.
Do you have the favorite submission and the favorite strike?
I would have to favorite submission, head and arm triangle, head and arm choke. Standing up, man, I have my low kick, my deadly low kick, and I like flicking my left high kick. It's no secret. You can watch every fight. I probably throw my left high kick at least 10 times.
Yeah, I've seen that. When we discuss your low kick, do you prefer Muay Thai version of low kick or a kickboxing one?
Muay Thai. I feel like it has the most power, and I've developed it throughout the years, and I feel like I could just time everything perfect. I haven't gotten checked in any of my fights, so I'm pretty good setting it up.
Well, Muay Thai low kick is actually very hard to check if you do it properly.
Exactly. There you go. I'm glad.
Yeah, definitely agree. Can you please talk a bit more on your coaches and sparring partners?
So here I have, this is the man behind my success. I'll show you him real quick. Look, his name's Awesome Zaidi here at the Goat Shed. Look at this guy right here.
Yo, what's up? How are you?
This guy right
Doing
here
great.
is responsible for the smash that you saw. All right. And then this is one of my trading partners right here. Oh, right there. That's another coach right here, Dieter Navarro. And these are a couple other my training partners back here. So we're at the Goat Shed right now. And this is where the magic happens.
So, is there something that makes your training dojo better than other training dojos? If you could pinpoint to one thing, what would it be?
If I could point out one single thing about this gym that stands out from other gyms is the energy.
Yes.
The energy of the gym is not like any other gym. It's not a formal setting. Other gyms, you come in, you circle, you bow. Here, people are a little more outspoken, but that's why we're known for that. You know, we're outspoken. It's a very young team, but that's why a lot of people find us threatening. It's such a young team, and we're going straight up so fast. It's insane.
Pretty much great. Who was your hardest amateur opponent, and do you remember your first amateur fight? I mean, people usually don't forget that it's the first
I
time they
do.
stepped
I
inside the
remember
octagon.
everything like if it was yesterday. My first amateur fight, like I said, I was purely Muay Thai based, and I got, thank God, they gave me a pure jiu-jitsu guy that had very bad takedowns. So at the time, I had a decent takedown defense, so I kept it standing. That was my first ever amateur fight. I just finished the fight in the clinch with straight knees. Straight knees to the body. The fight was ended in the first round. Now, as far as my hardest opponent, he's actually probably he's actually one of my training partners now. Well, I fought him as an amateur. His name's Ryan Hughes. And he would whoop my ass now. I fought him as an amateur at 135. I'm a flyweight. I fight at 125. But at the time, I went up a weight class because I just didn't want to cut the weight. I ended up meeting Ryan for a local promotion here in Miami, Combat Night. And at the time, I was just a striker. He was just a wrestler, so it was a very exciting fight. I'm glad I fought him, and I'm glad that I'm on the same team now for sure.
How many pounds do you cut for your competitions?
Quite a bit. People don't believe that I'm a flyweight. I walk around at 148, 150, and I make the diet down slowly to 125. A pure water weight, I'll be cutting around like 6 pounds of water because I get very, very skinny and I'm tall for the weight class. So it is what it is. But if as long as you do everything properly and diet the right way, I think anyone can make weight, you know.
Yeah, probably, but even for some bigger guy, it would be hard to cut 20 pounds.
No, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of the guys don't know too much about the nutrition. Some guys prefer different weight cutting methods. I found what works best for my body. It might not work be the best method for other people, but at least I found the best way for me to get down in weight.
Do you still remember your first professional fight?
Yes, absolutely. All right, so my first amateur, you said my first professional fight.
Professional, yes.
So that guy, that fighter, he's a very talented young prospect, and at the time I was the underdog. People were expecting me to get my ass whooped for you know, probably ended up getting finished. That's what people were expecting, because of on paper, as an amateur, I wasn't the best. I admit it. But now I'm on fire. And when I went up against this guy for my pro fight, he was 7-0 as an amateur, undefeated. People thought he was gonna wreck me. And then in reality, I stepped in the cage and it was 30-27 all 3 rounds. I ended up winning unanimous decision. I'll never forget that pro debut. I've worked as hard as I could to get that win.
What can you say about your one and only professional loss?
I'm glad. I'm not glad that I lost, but I'm glad for the experience because it made me realize what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be. It was a fight that I took, knowing that it was might be a hard fight. I came into the fight not very confident in myself. I never told anyone this, but I wasn't very confident for that fight stepping in there. I flew out without my coaches. I flew out with one of my training partners. That same guy, I think I would finish today because of everything I've learned here at this new gym that I'm at now. But I'm grateful for the experiences. It's never a loss, in my opinion. It's a win in itself because I get to learn.
Which was the hardest fight of your professional career, according to your thoughts?
So far, the hardest one I've had is probably either probably my debut. Honestly, my debut. Believe it or not, even though I didn't have the skills that I have now, and he didn't either. Like, he's probably better than he was before. At the time, we were very evenly matched, so I never gotten hit as much. So my fight name, my nickname is the Elusive. I don't get hit. And for me to get hit as much as I did, that's crazy. So in my opinion, that was my toughest fight because we were very evenly matched. I kept it standing, and I was dumb back then. I would just keep it standing. So I took some shots in that fight that I don't necessarily usually take.
So what does elusive generally mean, your nickname? Does it have some kind of a specific background?
Elusive is just as elusive. It describes my fighting style. I like to use a lot of footwork, fancy feints, and the fancy footwork to set up certain moves. I'm just a hard guy to hit, man. If you hit me, you know you're doing something right because I'm a hard guy to hit.
So, in your fourth fight, you had body kick stoppage. What can you say about that?
Honestly, it was a little bit of luck and good timing because that guy ran forward. I threw it right when he threw his punch. So it was a combination of good timing and luck, man. It was beautiful. He hit him and he dropped instantly. I was kind of surprised when I dropped him.
Please repeat.
What was that?
Please repeat. What did you say? I didn't hear your last sentence.
That I was actually kind of surprised that the kick dropped him. I almost froze. I almost forgot to keep hitting him because the fight wasn't over when I kicked him. I had to keep hitting him for the ref to stop it. But I almost hesitated because I have never dropped anyone with a kick like that before.
What do you think about Titanfc as a promotion?
Titanfc is probably up there and probably one of the best pro organizations in the country. Definitely the best one on the East Coast. I'm not sure or too familiar with the rest of the ones here in the States. But as far from what I've seen, there's a couple promotions, and Titanfc is one of the best, if not the best, promotion, to start up and get noticed. Because a lot of the fighters that fought for Titan end up being in the UFC, in Bellator, and in other major promotions.
What are your plans for the future, and how does one day in your life look like?
So my plans, I have a couple more fights left, probably before I sign to a big promotion. My dream, my goal, I want to end up going to one championship. My ultimate life goal is I want to be a double champ. I want the flyweight MMA title for one. And at the same time, I want to have the one flyweight Muay Thai belt. So I want two belts at the same time in two different arts, MMA and Muay Thai at the same time.
Can you please describe one day in your life, like training, nutrition?
So this right here, this is my home. Right here, as you can see, this is where I spend most of my time. When I'm not here, I'm either at home studying how to train, how to get better. I'm eating if I'm not at the gym. I wake up in the morning, I train, and when I'm not training myself, I'm usually training a client. That's what I do for a living. I am a kickboxing trainer. So I train striking for MMA. I do that as a living. Before this, I used to work odd jobs just to make ends meet. I used to work delivery jobs, Postmates. But now things are good. Things are going good for me here. Over the past year, my clients and business is good, man. Business is booming. I can't complain.
How hard it is to train a client? I mean, when you switch from your training session to a client training session, do you need some time to adjust?
I'll say this. I don't think it's a job if you love what you're doing. So when I'm training and I'm teaching people, I love what I'm doing, so it doesn't feel like I'm working. And I'm getting paid for it. It can't get any better.
Oh yeah, absolutely makes sense. You know, when I'm here in UFC for the whole night, I don't consider it a job, despite I'm paid well. I mean, for my country, I'm paid very well, but not hard when you love something. It's not hard to stay up all night, I mean, I guess.
Exactly, man. I could do this all day, man.
You don't get tired.
Well, everyone gets tired, but still, I enjoy doing what I'm doing, so it's not bad. I get my breaks here and there. And I make my schedule. I'm my own boss. I make my own schedule. I wake up when I want to, and I go to sleep when I want to.
Do you have the potential rival in your sights at the moment?
Right now, I just fought back to back. So my last fight before this one was July 2nd, and I fought August 6th. So I'm taking a little bit of time off, break to enjoy myself because I've been in like for the past 4 months, it's just been constant training for a fight. So I want to take some time off and enjoy some time with my girl, take her out somewhere nice, you know, maybe a little vacation. As far as a potential opponent, I'll fight whoever. After this last fight, I'm comfortable to either fight a wrestler or a striker. It doesn't matter who it is. I just focus on improving, and we'll see what comes next.
Would you like to add something to the interview? Would you like to give a shout out to somebody? Would you maybe like to greet somebody we forgot to greet?
Shout out to this guy right here, that guy without the shirt right there, that bald man, responsible for all my success. Awesome, JD.
Thank you so much for the interview. I will put it to creation now. You can expect it like in 2-3 hours. I will send you a link.
Awesome, my brother. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you, Adrian. Have a great day.
All right, man. Take care.